Hello people of YouTube, I'm John and today I'm going to review the Comica BoomX-U wireless microphone system. Let's get over to the workbench and take a look. Alright, so here's what we're looking at today. This is a Comica BoomX-U wireless microphone system. This product is available on Amazon. At the time of this recording, it costs 249 bucks. So I figured I'd just show you the information on the back of the box. These are very small transmitters and a very small receiver, and they're dual channel, so you should be able to find a usable channel pretty much no matter where you are. And I have not used these before, but apparently the transmitters have not only attachable or detachable, I guess you could call it, lavalier mics. Those are the little ones that you clip up on your lapel. But they also have built-in microphones right on the transmitter so that you don't have to plug something into it if you don't want to. Now, I've used Comica microphones before. As a matter of fact, I'm using a Comica lavalier microphone right now, the kind that you plug directly into the camera. And these microphones that we're looking at today, the wireless microphone set, they have built-in lithium-ion batteries, which I think is really cool because you don't have to worry about wrangling little 9-volt Duracell or whatever. You just charge these things and they last, according to the documentation, for 6 hours. So why don't we open this up and take a closer look. And before we're done, you're going to also get a test, because I'm going to use these microphones, or at least one of them, to record myself while I finish the review once I get them charged up. So let's take a closer look. Something else I think is pretty cool is that this thing comes with its own little carrying case. It's very handy. So the front pouch has a bunch of little cables and stuff. Take those out and look at those. I think these have connectivity for just about anything you want to do with them, including cameras or phones with cameras. So let's see what these things are first. Oh boy, this is a lot of stuff, isn't it? So here's what's in those little bags. We have 2 detachable microphones, 2 windscreens. This is an XLR connector. This is what I'll be using with my camera here in a little while. This is a 3.5 millimeter cable that runs out of the receiver into your camcorder or camera. This can be used with DSLRs. I'm pretty sure that my camcorder has an input for this. This one is for smartphones. And then this is a charging cable. And it's just a USB-C jack. And I'm a little bit concerned about that because the system has 3 pieces. It has 2 transmitters and a receiver. And if it only came with 1 charging cord, that might be kind of inconvenient. So anyway, let's see what's in the other pouch on this case that it came with. Okay, so we have an owner's manual and then 2 transmitters and a receiver. The owner's manual is 42 pages and it's split into 2 sections. One of them is in English and the other one is in a Chinese text that I am not familiar with. And it basically confirms sort of what I was afraid of. There's only 1 charging cable for all 3 pieces. So I'm going to have to go and charge these before I can test them. So I'm going to do that now, and I'll be back when I finish. What I do want to say, though, is most people, I'm guessing, have USB-C cords around the house because other smartphones and smart devices use them. So, maybe you have a bunch of these things hanging around. If you don't, then just be prepared. You're going to have to buy a couple if you want to charge all three of these pieces at the same time. All right, so I've plugged in one of the transmitters, and when you plug it in, it looks like it's actively charging. It has a little red LED on it. It's a while later, and you can see that light is now blue. So I'm going to plug in the other transmitter, and we'll get that one charged up as well. You know, it's interesting. The documentation in the manual doesn't tell you a lot about this. Like, I didn't see anywhere in the manual that tells you, hey, plug it in, and if this LED is red, that means it needs to be charged, and if it's blue, that means it's charged. It seems like that's something they would want to tell you in the user's manual. For now, we're still waiting for them to charge using the one charging cable that it came with. Alright, so I got both transmitters fully charged, I believe, because the little lights on them went from red to blue. Now I have the receiver plugged in, and I'm a little bit confused because it has red LEDs over the A and B at the top there, but on the display it has what looks like a fully charged battery. So there's some conflict here because on the transmitters a red light means it's not fully charged and a blue light means it is charged, apparently. Doesn't tell me this anywhere in the documentation, unfortunately. And then on the receiver, it has a picture of a fully charged battery, but then there are two red lights on it. So I think it's charged because of the fully charged battery icon there on the display, but I don't know for sure because it's not consistent. Why are there red lights on if it's fully charged when a red light on the other piece that comes with this set means it's not charged? You see the problem I'm having here? Okay, so I'm looking through the manual a little more carefully, and I found on page 10 that the transmitters do have blue light. This is how it's worded. Blue light keeps on after turn on the transmitter. Purple light keeps on after turn on low cut filter mode. Red light flicker when pairing transmitter and receiver or low power. Red light keeps on when charging. So there's the answer. The red light stays on until it's charged. It doesn't say on here that a solid blue light means it's charged, but it kind of feels like common sense. And then in the receiver section of the manual on page 13, it says Group AB Working Status Indicator. And that's what these little A and B things are here. At least that's what the picture looks like on here. And it says indicator light is off when unpaired. Blue light keeps on after paired successfully. Red light flicker when low power. Red light keeps on when charging. So apparently it is still charging and the lights are still red. So I don't know why there's a full battery icon in the center of the screen there. So to say this is not particularly intuitive is kind of an understatement. I mean, this is stuff that I would expect to see on the very beginning of the manual, kind of like a little startup guide. That's what I was kind of looking for, right? So I guess what I'm trying to say here is it's just not really clear to me. Not as clear as I would like it to be. So there's definitely some shortcomings in the user documentation. And there's some other talk in the manual about an infrared sensor. And I see the infrared sensors on the transmitters and on the receiver. And again, I'm thinking, maybe this is to pair them to the receiver. I guess we'll find out. And look, as I was talking, it just turned blue. So I think this is charged now. I think everything is charged, which means we can try to set it up and test it. So we'll do that next. All right, so I'm looking at what appears to be the top of the receiver. That's what's in the picture here. And if you look, you can see on the left side there is a headphone jack, which allows you to monitor live as the sound is being recorded. And then there's an output on the right side, and that's where you would plug in whatever jack you're going to add to your camera, or whatever device you're using this with. And then right in the middle it says IR, that's infrared. And apparently, if I'm reading the instructions properly, which again, it's kind of hard to tell the way they're written, apparently you need to turn on the receiver and turn on the transmitter or transmitters in close proximity so that they can pair with each other and get secured channels. This is what the infrared sensor looks like on one of the transmitters. It's just a clear window next to the charging port. So I've set everything up on the desk here, and I'm going to go ahead and power on the receiver by pushing the power button down. And a little light came on, and now it's looking for these things. So I'm going to turn one on. Okay, so A is now activated. I'm going to turn the other one on. And now B is activated. I'm taking a close-up of the receiver, and you can see that A is on channel 46 and B is on channel 39. You can see the microphones are actually picking up my voice. So that's pretty cool. A little graphic display on there, and it tells you the battery power of the receiver and of both of the transmitters. So I'm standing here out on the street, and in the afternoon where I live it gets pretty windy, so I've put the windscreen on a transmitter and I attached it to my shirt the way the instructions tell you to in the manual. And I'm about 60 feet away from the camera, and I'm going to ask the camera operator to go ahead and zoom back, and you can see how far away I am. And it probably sounds like I'm right in front of the camera. I figured I would try to end this review back in my office in front of my green screen, but the difference is now I'm running the wireless microphone system through my iPhone. I have an iPhone SE, and it does not have a 3.5 millimeter jack. So what you have to do in that case is get something called a dongle, and you can get this from Apple. It's like $9 or something like that. And it lets you put the TRRS connector, which is the little 3.5 millimeter jack that has 3 little rings around it. You plug that into the dongle, and then you plug the lightning side into your port on your phone. And this is the only port that's on an Apple iPhone SE. They don't have the 3.5 millimeter jacks anymore. So what I'd like to say about this microphone system is I was able to get it to run for 4 hours without recharging it, which is pretty good, but it's not quite as much as the 6 hours that they claim it will do. Maybe the 6-hour run time is just standby where you're not actually using it. So it's possible it might run for 6 hours that way, but that wasn't my experience. I do like the small size of these things. They are very compact. I also like the fact that the transmitters have the built-in microphone as well as the lapel microphone. That's a bonus because the built-in microphone also has a matching windscreen, so that if you go outside, you can still use these in windy conditions and not have to worry too much about wind noise. I would strongly recommend reading through the manual, even though it's not really written very well. If you take your time and have patience with it, you will get what they're saying. I think that they should have had a quick start guide. Anyway, though, at this price, $250, if you need a prosumer solution, or if you're using your phone for video and you need to have good audio, this is a great solution because it will not break the bank, and it's easy to use once you've figured it out, and it's compatible with pretty much any type of device you want to use it with. You just have to know which adapters or dongles you need to get to make it work. So that's it for this time, and I will see you next time.